What if I told you that the ground right beneath your feet holds more earning potential than any corner office in any skyscraper in any city on Earth? That a single plant cultivated with purpose, sold to the right people, could completely rewrite the story of your financial life? You don't need acres of open land, industrial-grade machinery, or a warehouse full of expensive equipment. What you need is strategy. You need patience. And above all else, you need the right plants. Today, I'm going to walk you through 12 extraordinary plants that have the power to transform ordinary farmland into something that functions more like a gold mine than a garden. These are crops that buyers around the world are already shelling out thousands of dollars for. And if you've ever dared to imagine a life where farming goes beyond just getting by and becomes a vehicle for real, lasting wealth, then this video was made specifically for you, because these are the plants that can genuinely make you a millionaire. Hey, plant lovers, welcome back to Zion Flora, where we believe that every handful of soil is a business opportunity waiting to be uncovered, and every seed planted is a step towards something bigger. Before we get into the heart of this, I want to ask you something real quick. Where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or your country down in the comments. Because here's the thing, farming isn't just a local game anymore. It's a global industry, and every single strategy we're going to break down today has the potential to work no matter where you are on the map. In this video, we're not talking about your standard backyard vegetables, or the same tired herbs everyone already knows about. We're talking about high demand, high margin, life-altering crops, the kind that serious farmers and sharp entrepreneurs are already cashing in on. By the time we wrap this up, you're going to know exactly which 12 plants can completely reshape the profitability of your farm, how to start thinking about scaling intelligently, and why some of these so-called hidden gems are worth more than precious metals when placed in the right hands. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it now and turn on notifications, because tips like these are the kind you don't want to stumble across 6 months too late. Alright, let's get into it. Plant number 1, ginseng. Ginseng isn't just a crop, it's a completely different philosophy of farming. The moment you decide to commit to growing ginseng, you stop operating like a seasonal farmer, chasing quick turnarounds, and start thinking more like a long-term investor who truly understands the value of patience. This plant does not reward those who rush. It rewards those with vision. Ginseng takes years to reach full maturity. And the remarkable thing is that every single year, it remains in the ground. Its value quietly climbs. While other crops are planted, harvested, sold, and replaced within the same calendar year, ginseng sits underground in silence, compounding worth the same way interest builds in a locked investment account that nobody is allowed to touch. The global demand for ginseng is not a passing trend. It is relentless and deeply structural. Wellness companies, pharmaceutical manufacturers, traditional medicine markets across Asia and beyond, and supplement brands worldwide all depend on a reliable, high-quality supply. Yet the number of farmers actually willing to grow it the right way, with the proper time commitment, remains remarkably low. That imbalance between surging demand and limited supply is precisely what keeps prices extraordinary. Mature ginseng roots are not priced the way you'd price a vegetable at a weekend farmer's market. They're priced more like rare commodities. The shape of the root, its age, its branching pattern, and the method used to grow it all carry significant weight in determining value. Farmers producing truly high-quality roots often bypass middlemen entirely and negotiate directly with serious buyers. Buyers who know what they're looking at and are willing to pay accordingly. Ginseng also quietly flips one of farming's oldest limitations on its head. It thrives in shade. Forested land, wooded hillsides, tree-covered plots that most farmers write off as unusable suddenly become prime, income-generating real estate when you're growing ginseng. That means farmers with limited sun-exposed acreage can still compete at the highest levels of this market. Ginseng doesn't demand perfection. It demands consistency, protection, and time. The farmers who come out on top with this crop are the ones who've genuinely internalized the concept of delayed gratification. They're planting today for a harvest that may be years away, but when that harvest comes, it arrives with weight. Ginseng doesn't just generate income. It generates leverage, security, and the kind of substantial payout that can fund land acquisition, new equipment, and growth that echoes across generations. Plant number 2, moringa. Moringa is what you get when raw agricultural productivity meets a market that is hungry and growing. Unlike the slow, meditative timeline of high-value crops, moringa grows fast, aggressively fast, and it gives generously with every harvest cycle. Once it's in the ground and established, it keeps producing, again and again, with surprisingly minimal inputs. That makes moringa one of the most dependable income generators a farmer can have when the goal is steady, recurring cash flow rather than waiting out a multi-year investment. The leaves are where the money is. They can be harvested continuously throughout the season, dried with ease, and converted into powder that moves in the market year-round. Health-conscious consumers, herbal wellness brands, and supplement manufacturers are always on the hunt for clean, traceable, consistent sources of quality moringa. That means this crop doesn't hitch its wagon to a trend. It feeds an ongoing, expanding market that grows stronger as more people become aware of what they're putting into their bodies. What truly sets moringa apart and makes it a powerhouse for the practical farmer is its flexibility. You can sell fresh leaves into your local market, dried leaves to regional buyers, or processed powder to international distributors. The seeds can be cold-pressed into a premium oil. The pods are sold as vegetables across numerous global markets. What you've built isn't just a crop, it's multiple revenue streams flowing simultaneously from a single plant. That diversification protects the farmer from the kind of market turbulence that can wipe out a single product operation. When one channel slows, the others hold the line. Moringa also fits beautifully into small-scale farms and even urban agricultural setups. It responds exceptionally well to pruning, which means the farmer controls its shape and height while simultaneously driving higher leaf yield. And rather than depleting what it's planted in, moringa actually improves the surrounding soil over time. Farmers who truly understand moringa don't spend their time looking for buyers. They spend it trying to keep up with the demand already in front of them. This is not a gamble. It is a workhorse of a plant. Plant number 3, Gotu kola. Gotu kola is one of those plants that flies completely under the radar for most farmers, and that oversight is a costly one, because the earning potential packed into this small green plant is genuinely significant, particularly for those who understand how to navigate niche medicinal and herbal markets. Celebrated across Asia for centuries as a tonic for the brain and circulatory system, Gotu kola is revered in traditional wellness systems. Yet, very few farmers outside the regions where it's historically cultivated have tapped into the international demand that exists for it. That very scarcity means that any farmer willing to grow it carefully and professionally can walk into a premium market with almost no competition standing in the way. Unlike crops that demand sprawling acreage and heavy equipment, Gotu kola thrives in small-scale, carefully managed plots, making it genuinely accessible even for farmers working with limited land. The market driving Gotu kola is fueled by a global pivot toward natural health solutions. Health-conscious consumers, herbal supplement companies, and wellness practitioners across multiple continents are actively seeking quality supply. Extracts, herbal teas, tinctures, and dried leaf products all command premium prices in this space, and demand accelerates each year as more people shift away from synthetic remedies toward plant-based alternatives. For the farmer, every carefully harvested leaf carries intrinsic dollar value. Add a single step of processing, drying, powdering, or packaging, and that value multiplies exponentially. Sold raw, Gotu kola already commands a strong price. Sold, processed, it becomes a luxury herbal product with genuine global export potential. Farming Gotu kola successfully requires attention to detail and a clear strategy. It grows best in shaded areas with a reliable water supply and responds well to repeated harvests throughout the season. The harvesting process itself involves carefully cutting the leaves without damaging the crown of the plant, ensuring it regenerates and keeps producing fresh growth. Farmers who commit to maintaining soil health, managing irrigation consistently, and staying ahead of pest pressure discover that the plant can yield reliable returns across multiple seasons. Unlike annual crops that exhaust themselves after a single harvest and need to be replanted from scratch, Gotu kola keeps giving, and with every new harvest, the farmer's skill, market knowledge, and reputation all deepen. The final edge that Gotu kola holds is the breadth of its market appeal. While pharmaceutical companies and premium wellness brands represent the highest-paying channels, there is also robust local demand for teas and culinary applications. Farmers can sell across multiple channels simultaneously: local herbal retailers, international supplement distributors, and direct-to-consumer online storefronts. That diversification minimizes risk and ensures the farmer is never beholden to the decisions of a single buyer. For the farmer who plays this right, Gotu kola becomes far more than just another plant in the ground. It becomes a stable, long-term income engine with serious staying power. Plant number 4, saffron. Saffron is living proof that successful farming is not about how much land you have. It's about how intelligently you use the land you do have. This extraordinary plant produces what is widely recognized as the most expensive spice on the planet, and yet it grows from a small, almost deceptively humble flower. You could walk through a saffron field and be completely fooled by its appearance, never guessing that what's concealed within those blossoms is worth more per acre than whole fields of the most common commercial crops you could name. The value of saffron is born from difficulty, and in agriculture, difficulty is not a deterrent, it's a gift. Each individual flower produces only a handful of delicate crimson threads, and those threads must be extracted carefully and entirely by hand. That reality sends most farmers walking in the opposite direction, but that hesitation is precisely what safeguards the price. When a crop is genuinely difficult to produce, fewer people pursue it. The market remains hungry. Farmers who are willing to embrace the labor involved are rewarded with access to premium buyers who are already searching for what they have. Saffron also integrates into the farming calendar with unusual intelligence. It grows during a window when many other crops have gone dormant, which means it generates income rather than competing for your time and attention. Once harvested and properly dried, saffron stores exceptionally well. You are not under pressure to sell immediately and accept whatever price the market offers on a given day. You can hold your product. You choose the timing. You select the buyers when conditions are favorable. For farmers who want to break into luxury markets, high-end restaurants, artisan food brands, international exporters dealing in fine ingredients, saffron is a doorway. It changes the way buyers see you and the way you see yourself. Trex. You are no longer a farmer pushing bulk produce through a middleman. You are a producer of a rare, high-value commodity with a seat at a very different kind of table. And that shift in identity and market position alone can reshape your entire agricultural future. Plant number 5, stevia. Stevia is the kind of plant that quietly surfs the crest of a massive global wave, a wave that most farmers haven't even noticed yet. Across the developed world, and increasingly in developing markets, consumers are being told to reduce sugar consumption, cut their caloric intake, and move away from artificial sweeteners that have faced growing scrutiny. Yet the human craving for something sweet has not faded one bit. That is the opening stevia walks right through. It delivers that sweetness without the metabolic consequences. And that single attribute keeps its demand climbing year after year with no signs of letting up. This is not a fad crop chasing a temporary health trend. It is a direct response to a permanent, structural shift in how the world's population thinks about what it eats and drinks. Stevia is powerful in a way that flips the economics of farming on their head. You are not selling by weight or bulk. You are selling potency. A small quantity of properly dried stevia leaf can replace a substantially larger volume of conventional sugar in formulation. That means transportation costs are lower, storage is more efficient, and profit margins when the product is processed correctly are considerably higher than most agricultural products on the market. Farmers who internalize this truth stop thinking like produce vendors and start thinking like ingredient suppliers serving food and beverage companies that prize consistency above everything else. Stevia also teaches one of the most valuable lessons in modern agriculture: the importance of adding processing steps. When you dry and grind the leaves yourself, you multiply the value you receive per unit. When you take the extra step of properly extracting the sweetening compounds, you unlock access to long-term commercial buyers who are willing to pay accordingly. This is where forward-thinking farmers separate themselves from the rest of the pack, not by growing more, but by selling smarter. What makes stevia even more attractive as a long-term crop is its harvest cycle. Once established, the plant can be cut multiple times throughout the growing season. Income is not compressed into a single brief harvest window like so many other crops. Each cutting reinforces the system the farmer has built. Over the years, managing a stevia operation begins to feel less like farming in the traditional sense, and more like running a dependable, recurring revenue stream. Plant number 6, wasabi. Wasabi is not a crop for every farmer, and that exclusivity is precisely the source of its financial power. Authentic, real wasabi is among the rarest edible plants in commercial agriculture today. The overwhelming majority of consumers who think they've tasted wasabi have actually consumed a blend of horseradish and green food coloring. The genuine article is so scarce in the commercial food chain that most people have never encountered it. That gap between widespread perception and rare reality is where extraordinary opportunity lives. Farmers growing true wasabi are not competing in the crowded field of conventional crops. They are occupying a protected, undersupplied corner of the market. The difficulty of successfully cultivating wasabi functions as a natural gatekeeper, and for the farmer who leans into that challenge, the payoff is extraordinary. Wasabi demands very specific conditions: precisely managed water sources, carefully controlled temperatures, and constant attentive management. Most farmers hear those requirements and step back. But for those who step forward, every challenge becomes a competitive advantage. Fewer growers means fewer suppliers in the market, and fewer suppliers means that those who do produce it hold real, meaningful pricing power. You're not competing to have the lowest price. You're competing on scarcity and quality. Wasabi also fundamentally transforms the dynamic between farmer and buyer. Instead of selling through layers of intermediaries who chip away at margins, wasabi growers frequently sell directly to high-end chefs, Michelin-starred restaurants, and specialty distributors who cater to fine dining. These buyers are not negotiating for the lowest possible cost. They are hunting for authenticity and provenance. That shift in the buyer-seller relationship can double or even triple income per unit compared to what traditional cropping operations generate. More than anything else, wasabi teaches the transformative value of focus. It rewards farmers who choose mastery over mere volume. Rather than spreading attention across many crops and doing all of them adequately, you plant one crop and you do it exceptionally well. In agriculture, as in most fields where excellence is achievable, mastery is typically far more profitable than quantity. Plant number 7, vanilla. Vanilla is one of those crops that looks perfectly approachable on the surface, right up until you understand exactly what goes into producing it. This is an agricultural endeavor that demands presence, timing, and a level of precision that filters out the casually interested within the first season. And it is that very rigor, that unforgiving standard of process and craft, that drives vanilla's extraordinary global price point. Every stage of production, from the delicate hand pollination of the flowers to the long, slow curing of the beans, requires direct, skilled human involvement. There are no shortcuts that preserve quality, and every step of that process filters out the farmers who aren't truly committed. The reason vanilla has remained among the world's most expensive agricultural products for generations is not mysterious. Supply simply cannot be scaled the way other commodities can. Every flower must be individually hand-pollinated during an incredibly narrow daily window. Every bean must be cured across a slow, methodical process that cannot be meaningfully rushed without sacrificing quality. That structural scarcity is built into the biology of the crop itself. Farmers who understand this don't pursue shortcuts. They pursue deep mastery of the process, because mastery is where the market premium resides. Vanilla also rewards the farmers who invest in branding and the long game of relationship building. Serious buyers care deeply about origin, about consistency from harvest to harvest, and about the provenance of what they're purchasing. Farmers who cure their beans with precision and deliver a reliably premium product earn repeat customers. Over time, those buyer relationships compound in value, becoming more strategically important than any single season's harvest. For farmers looking for a crop that can serve as the financial anchor of their operation for the long term, vanilla delivers. Demand cuts across the food industry, the beverage sector, the cosmetics world, and the fragrance market simultaneously. It is not a crop that rises and falls on the strength of a single industry. When managed with genuine care and expertise, vanilla stops being just something you grow and becomes a structural pillar of the farm's entire financial architecture. Plant number 8, ginger. Ginger is arguably one of the most chronically underestimated moneymakers available to farmers who are willing to think on a global scale. Yes, it's a universally known kitchen staple, but the real wealth locked inside ginger farming has almost nothing to do with fresh root sales at a local market. The financial opportunity lives inside the value chain. Fresh roots, dried roots, ground spice, specialty extracts, each step along that processing chain multiplies the farmer's potential revenue in a way that's genuinely significant. The distinction between ordinary ginger growers and those who build real wealth from this crop is not about planting more acres. It's about thinking more strategically around processing, packaging, and distribution. That's the mindset that turns a ginger farm into something that can make a farmer genuinely wealthy. From a market perspective, ginger's footprint is enormous and expanding. It is a core ingredient in teas and functional beverages, food manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, dietary supplements, and the cosmetics industry. Global demand trends upward year after year, and farmers who build a reputation for consistent quality gain access to buyers willing to pay meaningfully above commodity prices. The root stores well after harvest, which gives the savvy farmer the ability to time sales, strategically holding inventory and releasing it when seasonal demand peaks and prices rise accordingly. The smartest ginger operations segment their harvest deliberately. A portion goes fresh to local and regional markets for immediate cash flow. A portion is dried and packaged for buyers in more distant markets. Another portion is powdered and stored for long-term contracts and export. These parallel income channels running simultaneously out of the same field are what elevate a ginger operation from a farm to a business. Success with ginger requires genuine agricultural attention. The plant performs at its highest level in loose, well-drained soil with partial sun and steady, managed moisture. Farmers who rotate fields, apply quality organic compost consistently, and handle pest pressure through natural methods reliably produce higher quality roots that command premium prices. The underground rhizomes are where the profit lives, and every investment you make in soil health and nutrient management pays a direct return at harvest. And ginger compounds its value over time. Once established, it produces across multiple growing seasons, and pieces cut from mature rhizomes can serve as planting material for the next cycle, reducing input costs while increasing total yield. Year after year, ginger becomes not merely a crop but a growing asset, a living investment with deepening returns. Farmers who scale thoughtfully, process intelligently, and build real relationships with committed buyers will find that even relatively modest plots can generate income that rivals far larger conventional farming operations. Plant number 9, turmeric. Turmeric is a golden plant in every dimension of that word. Its vivid, bright yellow rhizomes represent not only centuries of culinary richness and health tradition, but also a modern financial opportunity that sharpens with every passing year. Farmers who truly understand what turmeric is capable of don't think of it as just another spice sitting at the back of a spice rack. They see it as a multi-layered wealth-building system. Fresh roots for direct sales, dried powder for processed consumer markets, curcumin-rich extracts for premium supplement manufacturers and the skincare industry. Each successive layer of value the farmer adds unlocks an entirely new income stream, and together, those streams can make an individual turmeric operation extraordinarily profitable. The global market for turmeric is not static. It is expanding aggressively, from anti-inflammatory supplements and golden milk wellness beverages to pharmaceutical research and premium skincare formulations. Turmeric has embedded itself as a critical ingredient across multiple major industries simultaneously. Farmers who can reliably produce clean, high curcumin content roots are in consistent, growing demand. The real leverage in this market lies in quality control. Roots that meet premium grade standards sell at prices that bear little resemblance to bulk commodity rates, which means every decision made in the field about soil composition, irrigation, and harvest timing directly translates into revenue. For farmers willing to learn the craft of processing, the financial gap between selling a raw rhizome and selling packaged, lab-tested turmeric powder can feel almost life-changing in its scale. Farming turmeric well requires both patience and technical skill. The plant performs best in warm, tropical, and subtropical climates, in rich, well-nourished soil with carefully managed moisture levels. Unlike fast-maturing vegetables, turmeric is a rhizome crop. It develops underground, invisible until harvest, which means the farmer must master the timing of harvest, the science of soil maintenance, and the art of post-harvest drying and processing. A mistimed dig or a sloppy drying process can dramatically reduce the value of an otherwise excellent crop, which is precisely why successful turmeric farmers treat every single step in the process as a direct determinant of income. And ultimately, turmeric is a system, not just a plant. Farmers can stagger their plantings to spread harvest across an extended period, ensuring a more consistent cash flow throughout the year. Leaves and stems that aren't harvested for rhizomes can be returned to the soil as compost or used as animal feed, creating a closed-loop system that improves soil health over time. When approached with that level of intentionality, turmeric becomes a predictable, scalable, and genuinely profitable agricultural asset, one that builds on itself season after season and rewards those who take it seriously with the kind of multi-tiered income that compounds real wealth over time. Plant number 10, garlic. Garlic is one of those crops that can fool you into underestimating it because, on the surface, it feels completely ordinary. It's familiar. It's everywhere. And that familiarity can make it easy to dismiss. But once you understand the mechanics of global garlic demand and the margins available to farmers who approach it strategically, the picture changes completely. Garlic is not just a culinary ingredient. It is a health commodity, a cooking essential, and a product that the world's kitchens, restaurants, and pharmaceutical companies will never stop consuming. Farmers who grow garlic with strategy and purpose don't wade into the commodity bulk market where margins are thin and competition is fierce. They focus on quality differentiation, intelligent packaging, and value-added product formats. Peeled cloves, artisan garlic powder, certified organic bulbs for premium and health-focused buyers. That is where the real earning power begins. From a market mechanics perspective, garlic holds a compelling advantage that few crops can claim. Repeat demand. Households, commercial kitchens, grocery retailers, and food manufacturers consume it continuously, week after week, year after year. It doesn't spike and crash the way trend-driven produce does. It is a constant, high-demand commodity. The farmer who positions their operation to capture both local market volume and premium export channel opportunities creates a cash flow structure that is fundamentally more stable and more lucrative than what most conventional crops offer. Pair that with solid storage management, and you can sell garlic months after your harvest window has closed, timing the market deliberately and capturing the prices that favor the patient seller. Growing garlic well is a disciplined practice. Soil preparation, planting depth, row spacing, and irrigation timing all meaningfully affect the ultimate size and quality of the bulbs. Pest and disease management is real, but with thoughtful crop rotation and natural agricultural methods, premium quality garlic can be grown with minimal chemical input. Farmers who invest genuine attention in the cultivation process consistently produce bulbs that command double or even triple the price of bulk, commodity-grade garlic grown carelessly at scale. The ultimate competitive edge garlic holds for the strategic farmer is its versatility across end markets. From fresh culinary use to health supplement formulations, from medicinal extract processing to value-added packaged products, a single well-managed harvest can feed multiple distribution channels simultaneously. That makes garlic not merely a crop, it makes it a financial engine. Farmers who master both the growing and the selling side of garlic understand that consistent quality and intelligent market positioning will outperform raw volume every single time, and that even a relatively modest plot, managed well, can become a reliably profitable venture. Plant number 11, lavender. Lavender carries an air of quiet beauty that can easily fool the uninitiated into thinking of it as nothing more than a decorative garden plant. But scratch beneath that gentle, fragrant surface, and what you find is a cash-generating powerhouse with industrial-scale demand. Lavender's aromatic flowers, its essential oils, its applications in dried floral arrangements, and its extensive use throughout the cosmetics and personal care industries create a sprawling, multi-billion-dollar global marketplace. Unlike purely ornamental plants that have limited commercial end uses, lavender is actively demanded by skincare companies, fragrance houses, boutique tea producers, and culinary brands. Farmers who invest in lavender are not selling into a niche hobby market. They are supplying a segment of the global economy that shows no sign of slowing down. The profitability of lavender derives directly from how many ways you can monetize it. Dried flowers move consistently through the floral decor and artisan tea markets. Leaves find their way into culinary products and specialty oils. And then there is essential oil, the crown jewel of the lavender value chain, which commands premium prices from buyers who are acutely aware of quality differences. Small-scale farmers who invest in proper distillation equipment and refine their extraction process can produce essential oils that stand competitively alongside the output of commercial distilleries. And beyond the product sales themselves, lavender farms have a remarkable and often overlooked secondary income potential: agritourism. Lavender fields attract visitors, create opportunities for on-farm workshops and experiences, and build a brand identity that supports premium pricing across all of the farm's product lines. Growing lavender to its full quality potential requires deliberate management. The plant thrives in well-drained soil with generous sun exposure and moderate watering. It does not like wet feet. While lavender is notably hardy once established, the farmers who take pruning, disease prevention, and precise harvest timing seriously are the ones who produce the highest quality flowers and the most potent oils. Those details translate directly into product that commands pricing multiples far above what less attentive growers receive. Lavender also integrates naturally into diversified farming systems. It grows harmoniously alongside complementary herbs and other high-value crops, allowing a single plot to generate several overlapping revenue streams. Its long shelf life and enduring cultural and commercial appeal mean that properly stored and marketed lavender products can be sold year-round without the urgent pressure that perishable crops create. For the farmer who thinks in systems, lavender becomes far more than a seasonal crop. It becomes the anchor of a sustainable, high-margin, multi-layered farm enterprise. Plant number 12, aloe vera. Aloe vera is the perfect capstone to our list of millionaire-making plants, and in many ways, it is the most deceptively powerful crop we've discussed. At first glance, it's a rugged succulent with thick, gel-filled leaves that seems almost too common to be extraordinary. But in reality, aloe vera sits at the intersection of three of the world's most consistently growing consumer industries: health and wellness, skincare, and natural medicine. Farmers who understand how to position themselves within this ecosystem don't simply sell leaves by the pound. They sell processed gel, spray-dried powder, high-potency extracts, and premium skincare ingredients that multiply the value of each leaf, harvested by an order of magnitude that would be unrecognizable to a farmer selling only fresh-cut leaves at a market stall. The global appetite for aloe vera is staggering in its scale and breadth. Health-focused consumers, independent herbal brands, international cosmetics giants, and pharmaceutical-grade ingredient buyers are all in the market simultaneously and consistently. Fresh leaf commands a solid base price, but the real margin explosion happens in the processing stages. Stabilized gel in consumer packaging, dehydrated powder for supplement manufacturing, and extracted compounds for cosmetic formulations. Farmers who build even a basic processing capability directly into their operation discover that a single field can support multiple overlapping revenue streams, reducing dependency on any one buyer or market channel. From a production standpoint, aloe vera is one of the most practical and economically accessible crops on this entire list. The plant is genuinely resilient. It tolerates a wide range of climates, demands minimal irrigation compared to most commercial crops, and is naturally resistant to the majority of common agricultural pests. It will grow and produce on marginal land that other crops would fail to survive on. With proper spacing, consistent but modest nutrient management, and a practiced harvesting technique, an aloe vera field can produce year after year without requiring full replanting, making it one of the most attractive long-term income-generating assets in agriculture. And at the strategic level, aloe vera offers the kind of stability and scalability that lets a farming business grow at whatever pace the farmer is ready for. Sales can be channeled locally, regionally, or internationally, depending on the processing level achieved and the branding invested in. Its exceptional shelf life gives the farmer genuine flexibility around market timing and pricing. For the serious, forward-thinking farmer, aloe vera is not simply a crop. It is a strategic asset, a recurring and compounding income source, and the ideal final piece of a diversified portfolio of high-profit, life-changing plants. And there you have it. 12 plants that have the real, demonstrated potential to change the way you farm, transform the way you earn, and completely reframe the way you think about what agriculture can be. From the slow, patient wealth building of ginseng to the fast-cycling, multi-harvest abundance of moringa. From the rare, almost mythical luxury of saffron to the global, evergreen demand that drives aloe vera, every single plant on this list carries within it the potential to convert soil into serious, durable wealth if you approach it with the right strategy, the right level of care, and the right long-term vision. Farming is no longer just about feeding your family or surviving a tough season. It's about building assets, creating systems. Thinking like an investor who happens to work with soil, seeds, and seasons. Every plant we walk through today can be part of a farm that doesn't just generate cash, but creates genuine, long-term value, positioning you to scale, diversify, and build the kind of financial future that farming was always capable of producing, but rarely taught. If you're serious about converting your farm into a money-making powerhouse, start with focus. Pick 2 or 3 plants from this list that fit your climate, your land, and your ambitions. Start small. Master the growing process, the harvesting techniques, and the value-adding steps that turn a raw harvest into a premium product. Because here's the truth. The secret to becoming wealthy through farming isn't just planting. It's planting intelligently, executing consistently, and thinking strategically every single step of the way. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 12 plants has you the most excited to get started with. And if you haven't subscribed to Zion Flora yet, do it right now, because we publish tips and strategies regularly that are designed to turn your yard, your backyard, or your full-scale farm into a real, thriving, money-making operation. We'll see you in the next one.